So Terrence McKinney versus Brandon Marotte. This is going to be in the lightweight division. Obviously, T Rex, Terrence McKinney, 14-6. He's 2-3 in his last five. 29 years old, 5'10", 73.5 inch reach there. He's going up against Brandon the Kid Marotte, 8-1, 4-1 in his last five, 26 years old. I think that he has actually fought in featherweight before too, so he might be moving up in this fight. 5'10", 72-inch reach there. Um, I think Terrence McKinney, obviously, by now, I think a lot of people have probably seen him fight, right? Very exciting fighter. A lot of times he could be like first round or bust just because of he is a little chinny and his gas tank's a little sus, but with that sus gas tank and with that sus chin comes a lot of power and a lot of like athleticism and like raw just quickness, speed, powerful hands. I mean, I think he has pretty good jujitsu and wrestling as well. Like he's just an overall like one of the best hammers that I think we have in the UFC, right? But he's also potentially one of the worst nails as well. So he looked great against his last fight against Mike Breenan, but I mean, Mike Breenan, I don't know if that guy's UFC caliber as well. I think that he's one of those guys that they just have on the roster just to kind of build someone up again. So I think he got a good win there, but not against the best competition. His fight against Nazim, I think he looked great. I mean, actually, unfortunately, I had some bets on him in that Nazim fight. He looked great in the beginning, and then he kind of just ran himself into another horrible L. Like it just like was a horrible L. He got caught. Like I think his arm got trapped under him or something like that. So it just looked bad. But I mean, I think this is a favorable matchup for him. I mean, he was preparing and training for a tough matchup like against a durable and dangerous Chris Duncan. So Brendan is actually stepping in for Chris Duncan. So, I think that Terrence was preparing for a much tougher opponent here. On the limited tape that I did have of Brandon, I mean, I think that he's one of those dudes that is a striker that likes to give one and take one, right? I mean, he likes to strike and then he likes to take damage and use his chin. Honestly, I haven't really been too impressed by his, limited tape. I think that he does have some decent power, but he's one of those guys that when he does get hit, though, I think that he doesn't weather those storms too well because he does kind of like put up his guard and try to shell up, especially if tries to get to the fence area. And against a guy like Terrence McKinney, who is a hunter and a predator, especially in that first round, I mean, you saw what happened against Mike Breeden, right? I mean, Terrence McKinney just hunted that dude down and just put him out, pretty much. So I see the same thing probably happening in this fight. I mean, as long as Terrence McKinney can maintain that pace for the first round at least and hunt Brendan down, I think this is a Terrence McKinney steamroll. They were probably honestly feeding Terrence McKinney to Chris Duncan to build up Chris Duncan, but since Chris Duncan pulled out, they're probably going to give Terrence McKinney a easy dub and try to feed him to his next fight. So right now, I think Terrence McKinney is for me, possible parlay piece. I'll definitely play him. I'll wait till the face offs and weigh-ins or whatever, but I think that he's a pretty good bet right there for a parlay piece. I mean, his odds are a little juiced. It's he opened up at -500, now it's a -525, so not too much action there, but I think that's about right. I mean, I don't see what this UFC debut guy has for Terrence McKinney. So pick here is Terrence McKinney, possible parlay piece, and I'll be awaiting the face-offs just to confirm my decision. But yeah, Gerard, what do you think about this fight right here?
I think Terrence McKinney, he should win. Um, and he's had a trend of steamrolling a lot of these opponents. But I think we have seen him lose to some prospects, some new faces in the UFC, and even debut people before. But again, like there hasn't been too much tape on Brendan, and he's from what I've seen, I wasn't crazily impressed from his tape. maybe he has decent striking, but um, I wasn't really too impressed. One thing to note is that he does train out the same gym as Rob Font and Calvin Cater. So who knows? Maybe he's one of the better fighters in that gym. But yeah, it's probably Terrence McKinney. He's probably parlayable, but I'm probably just gonna pass because the odds are just so juiced, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
don't blame you.
yeah, I was thinking of, is it 2.5 or 1.5 over under?
They don't even have a round line
Oh,
posted right
they don't
now.
even have,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
just,
no,
this is kind of a brand new fight, so I think they're probably
yeah,
posting
brand
it
new
on
fight.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna have a play on this one, but it's
for sure.
probably McKinney.
Cool. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. I mean, it might be a little dangerous to put a guy like McKinney as a parlay piece with his sus, tank, gas tank, and sus chin. But I don't know. He kind of convinced me a little bit in that last fight against Mike Breeden. I mean, as long as he can just like come in with a predator mentality, like an alpha mentality, and just like knock some people out or like ground and pound them or sub them, I think he's got it. So yeah, I mean, I do agree with those. I mean, it's not like a giga lock, right? It's like it's not a lock. So possible parlay piece. I'll definitely see the weigh in, see feel out their vibe, and kind of see how attack from there. And I think when the round lines do drop, and then when the props drop, I think that'll give us a better indicator of how the bookies actually see this fight playing out. So that'll give us a
Mhm.
better, more information to try to see how to attack it. So yeah, I do agree with that.